Well, welcome everybody to the April new moon. And
Well, well.
the new moon is going to be Sunday evening.
Hmm.
But life is busy on the weekends, so we're a little bit early doing it Friday.
Yes.
Thank you, Mickey, for being so accommodating for my busy schedule that you were able to do it earlier.
Yeah, you have to do what you have to do for your public.
Well, it's not so much my public as my life. Uh, yeah.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, yes, I do. I have a little life, little life. Oh, so I was just telling Mickey before we got on that it's a very gray, very bright gray day, so it's kind of washing out the color. I don't have any lights on in the house at all, but and I'm trying not to look over there because I get this glare in my glasses. So,
You said it's what time on Sunday?
hold on. I
I
think
just thought I'd bring the chart up.
for the East Coast, hold on one second here. For the East Coast, it is 3:31 p.m.
Aha. Okay.
And
I'm just putting
while
that in.
Mickey's looking this up, I'd like everybody to, when you're watching this, share it. Share it to your friends. Share it to your anybody you think might like to see this, and definitely leave comments. Give us a thumbs up or a smiley or any kind of a comment. It all
Hmm.
helps the algorithm find other people. And after this is over, I will edit it, get it on YouTube, and do the same for us there. It helps so much.
It does.
Yeah. And I forget
Now,
to
you said
say
AM or PM?
PM. It's
Yeah,
late
that's what I had.
afternoon. Hmm.
Okay. Wow. And let's see here. Oh, yes. Okay. Gosh, this week went so fast.
Yeah. Well, being that we're, 3 days earlier, we've only been gone for what, 11 days?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And time is just going faster. Um, I
Well,
don't,
especially at my age. So,
well, all of our ages. Even the young people are saying how fast things are going and
hmm.
how early things are, and things are just like it sneaks up on them real quick. And that didn't used to happen, but it is now. It's our new paradigm.
Well, what I was referring to is the fact that the older you are, the faster time goes. And I'm sure that most older people say that, not realizing how very close to the truth it is. I think I've talked about this before, but I'm not sure. Stop me if I'm repeating myself. But if you think of a circle on a wall and you put a tinier circle in the center,
Hmm.
you know, going around that smaller circle may take a small bit of effort, just a blip. But if you're going to go around that outer circle, it takes a lot longer. So as you move further and further in time, out in time, then you've got to run faster to cover the same amount of inner space, what we're looking at in the middle. So,
I don't think you have ever mentioned that.
no, it's like when this is going to really date me, but those of us who've ever been in a marching band, we know that when you're marching, if you're going to turn, if the whole band's going to turn, and people marching, and it's got to turn this way, this one here on that outer edge has to step very much faster to get around the circle, the turn you're making. Here, I'm just going like that. This person's going like that before
Right,
they can catch up. So you've covered a lot more. It took more time.
right, right.
to get
Right.
around that.
Even
Yeah,
that person at the one side, this person
right.
here, they're
We
even
say
stepping in
pivoting.
place.
Yeah, they are almost stepping in place,
Yeah.
depending on what the maneuver is. But that inner corner
Hmm.
is, the one that relaxes, and the other people are rushing like hell to get around the circumference.
You're right. That I have never thought of it that way, but that's
So
totally
it's
right.
more than a notion when you say, "Oh, time's going faster now that I'm older." Yeah, it is.
But that so then now we hear young people, even children, saying time is moving faster. So
Yeah.
is it just light speed ahead for us?
It's a relative thing. They're speaking about the fact that as a civilization of the earth is experiencing a speeding up of the whole vibration.
Hmm.
Okay. The time we're spending in this point in earth, it seems to be speeding because of, dare I say it, the ascension. What some in religious circles call the ascension is actually where we're moving into a new paradigm.
Hmm.
Now, in some other uh, thought circles, they call it that we're creating a new now. That the
Right.
people who think one way are splitting off from those who think
The
another
new
way.
Earth theory. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are
And
a lot of ways to say it.
right, right. Dolores Cannon talked about that for years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It was a lot easier to poo poo the idea and act like, oh, that's just such crap until now. So now you can't really question it. It's you watching it happen.
It is.
There are,
And it seems to be a great time of, well, the last 5 years, clearly, of uh, exit points happening
mm-hmm,
on a mass scale.
mm-hmm.
I've definitely noticed that. I think it slowed down a little bit, but I think it's starting to pick up again.
It's an amazing thing to watch as an astrologer because
Ah.
I came into this 50 years ago, and what we were looking at as what was coming was an extremely different picture. I
Mhm.
couldn't see 50 years ahead, but you're looking at the next decade or the next 20 years and blah, blah, blah. Who knew what 50 years away would be? And
Mhm.
I'm just sitting here with my mouth open at what I see. And I can't, I mean, I'm not extremely religious in the traditional sense by any means. So when people spoke about, oh, the second coming and oh, the ascension and oh, and I just kind of went, right. But I must admit, it's simply another way of speaking about something that is definitely happening.
Mhm. Mhm.
We as humans are raising our vibration. We are definitely thinking in a different way. There are things that are, on the horizon that we would have laughed at before. Well, we're not laughing now. We're watching everything change drastically.
And they're big changes. I mean, you just look at the Pope's passing,
Yeah,
on Easter Monday.
yeah,
And he chose that exit point. I mean, how long was he in the hospital and he was on a ventilator and he could have passed at any moment, but he
but
came,
that last hurrah,
he
you
spoke
know,
to the people and allowed them to see him,
got out among them, and
and he
yeah,
passed in his home, his not his palace, but his
right.
little abode where he felt safe and his home and went
Hmm.
home. Yeah. So,
For some of you out there, well, everybody in the sound of our voices are on a different path. And your particular one is what it's supposed to be. So I'm not questioning that at all. But what I want you to question out there is how much of what you want to see are you seeing? And how much adjustment do you think it takes for you to pull it in more clearly than what you're seeing? Whatever it is that your belief system provides for you to use as a criteria, for gleaning wisdom from the times. This is the time to pull all that out and take a look at what you feel responsible to do in your now to help it be what you want it to be. This is where the rubber meets the road. Here, do what you know, as they say.
Mhm.
Um,
For
Follow
me,
what your
I
mind is
noticed
saying.
that. And
Mhm.
I've been pulling Reiki in for just that reason. And so
Yes,
many of and Reiki was the beginning of my spiritual growth. And I'm pulling in so many of the original, the basics. And
yes,
and the biggest thing is intention, is that intention means everything.
it does.
Right, if you are gloomy Gus, then you're pulling in gloominess. So the intention of positivity, use that tool because it's probably one of the greatest tools you have.
It is. However, the hard part is when things are not going even close to what you want, it's difficult to keep your mind clear of all those negative emotions that come with it, all the fear and the apprehension and the stress and this and that. I'm not a pie in the sky person. I'm not saying you have to grin and smile at everyone and act like nothing's happening. However, you have to understand the power of your own state of mind. And that's the key. That's the thing right there.
Mhm.
It does take a little more effort to remain as close to positive as you can. No one's saying you have to be Pollyanna in the face of great problem, whatever. But there's a fine line there between holding what you need to hold and being aware as a human being. You can't be stupid and not be aware of anything or just say, I won't turn on the TV. I won't listen to anybody. I don't want to hear anything. That's not an approach that's admirable. That's not going to help. However, as you do stay aware, put the effort in. The second you feel overwhelmed by whatever it is that's being negative, when it gets hard to take,
Mhm.
that's when you really have to stop for a second and um, what do you call it? When you earth yourself, so to speak. You
Ground.
ground yourself. You try and consider in that very second, oh, this is more than I asked for. This is hard to handle. Let me stop right now. And I mean, right that very second and ground and say, do your 333 222 111, even if that's as far as you go. The split second when you broke the vibe by concentrating on your 333, etc., that moment helps.
It
You
does.
may have to do it again and again and again. I can't tell you how much of my 24 hours I spend in deep meditation.
Well,
Right now is what it takes.
as you were talking about this, that was the first thing I thought of. It's like being in meditation in real life. So when you have that negativity come in or less than positive that you want to be, that's like when you have the thought come in meditation and you have to acknowledge the thought, okay, I see you, but right now I'm just going to come to center again. And that's where Mickey's talking about doing the 333 222 111. And
Hmm.
a deep breath works, grounding works, but it is hard to do it in real life. It's much easier to do it when you're sitting quiet in meditation than as you're walking through the world.
Yes.
Can be done,
Hmm.
and it's a
And
practice.
for some of us who are aware of that or were some time ago, um, I've known this for a long time. However, there's also friction from those who don't do what we're talking about, who look at you stopping for a moment midstream of whatever's going on. And you might be in a room full of people who are going through something. You might be the only one who stops to go 223 222 111. You get a chance to take a breath, and they're like, "Doesn't you see what I said? Don't you see what's going on?" In other words, why can't you match my level of stress? Because that's not going to help.
Yeah.
Okay? But you're going to take some flack for not joining the misery.
Hmm.
And that's very difficult, especially on a sustained basis.
Yeah.
If you're in a family, for instance, where you're the only one who believes blah, 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 and everybody else thinks a different way, and they're upset because you won't listen to what they're saying and you're not going to do it the way they tell you, you have to stay with what you believe.
Just be an observer. You don't have to believe what they say. Just be an observer.
You can keep your mouth shut. You don't have to get any of them to come to your side and think of the way you think. But you have to understand that it's like this and this. No, you don't have to tell them anything. You don't have to preach to the masses, etc. You know,
True.
that's one of the greatest lessons from when I was first becoming an astrologer. I wanted everybody to get a chart. Do you realize how important this is? Not if that's not the life they projected. We will each come to what we need to know at the point we need to know it. You may not agree, but then you didn't design you. Whatever powers did, you in a way did design you, but you're still one of the aspects of the big force that did. So the thing is, I didn't set this universe up, but those who did knew a lot more about what to do to make it work the way they wanted it to,
Hmm.
not to make it work. Well, I don't think it's working, and I just blah, blah. Shut up. You have no idea what you're saying. Just keep chanting, just keep praying, just keep walking. Do not look to either side. And no matter what kind of big monster is sitting in the road ahead of you, it too was created by whatever put you there on the road looking at it. And there's a purpose to it, you know. So, whatever. So what? We go back to the so what. It's
I
brilliant.
love that.
It's brilliant.
It
Now,
really is brilliant.
all this rah 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 that I'm talking about and do this and do it like that and apply this and so forth. Believe me, I'm whistling in the dark. I'm telling you what I think I found out. If you think you found out something different, my very best to you. I hope you did. And I hope you can do yours so well that it'll inform me.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm just telling you what I know so far.
Hmm.
And you
Exactly.
need a lot.
Well, it's as much as we got. Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, this is it. This is what I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
So, hey,
the-
anybody that's listening, chime in. And
these are trying times.
well,
And
they are.
so, whatever you know, try.
And they're trying times in many, many different ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Um,
So, do what you know.
yeah. This week it took me back to my Reiki roots this week, and I pulled out had a woman, good friend. She's taken Reiki 1 and 2 with me, and she reached out. She wants to be mastered. So I pulled out all my stuff
Oh,
and found that, my crystal grid really, was dusty and it needed work. And as I started taking it apart and cleansing all the crystals and cleaning everything up, I realized, get back to those rituals that I know so well. And so I took, again, cleansed everything with water. I have quartz crystals on mine. And then I had a burning ceremony where I cleared all of the intentions that were like 15 years old.
mm-hmm,
And so many of the people that were in there have now passed away.
mm-hmm.
It's been a long
Wow.
time. And so I did it new again, like it was the first time I did it. I recharged everything. I had a beautiful burning ceremony. And
Oh,
and
that's nice.
and yeah. And then I was absolutely instructed by spirit to take the ashes, and I also had sage with it and bay leaves and to bury them all.
Mm-hmm.
So they all went to Mother Earth later that day. And, for whatever reason, clearing that and recharging it did just that in my life. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it cleared what was foggy in my life and made it recharged and made things right again. So the simplest little things you could do for yourself, especially, Sunday night during the new moon, when it's a very emotional, anything that you have that you want to clear, that you want to rid from yourself, write it on a piece of paper, take it outside, put it in a little ashtray or something that's not going to burn, and offer it up, and then take care of the ashes later on. But
Mm-hmm.
the smallest of rituals can help immensely.
Well, I've been having a glance at the new moon chart, and
Oh, interesting.
oh, it is. It really is, and it's more of what we've just been through with the full moon, and those vibrations. Although there's a big difference between a new and a full, you still have to understand that we're going through a time period. So there's a vibe for and a chart for this whole period of time, this whole era in history. And the new moon has so much of what the full moon had. So it's interesting to me that no matter what the different earthly things are, and that, full moon, new moon has to do with the rotation of our satellite moon and everything. But we're part of a zodiac that contains other planets. There's a whole big panoply, a whole big sky full of other things.
Now here's a new
And
here's a new person question. Me.
yes,
We're talking about planets that are much further away from the Earth. So we're
right.
looking at slower getting to us and also slower leaving. So that means more length of time that we're dealing with the same kind of energies. Is that right?
Hmm.
It is.
Sort of, yes.
Okay.
There's the big picture of the whole sky, our galaxy and so forth. We look at our solar system, which is simply solar meaning stuff going around the sun. In
Mhm,
our particular case, there are 10 planets.
mhm,
Um, 9 if you want to argue about Pluto. And
mhm.
I think this week they're calling it a planet. Last week it was not. And the
I,
week before that it was.
I
And,
think it is this week, yes.
this week it's a planet. So,
But like
um,
Mercury retrograde, Mercury is very quick around the sun. So
right, it's
that
very fast.
happens, it comes and it goes, it comes and it goes.
It's like every 6 weeks.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
and I might also add, when we say Mercury retrograde, it isn't really going backwards. It's
right.
just that because of our movement, there's a point where we move a little faster than it does. So it looks like we're looking back to see where it is. And then
Mhm.
it catches up and it's no longer behind us, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But the thing is that there's a whole view of what's happening in the galaxy, what's happening in our solar system. And then when we down here on Earth start to look at our own particular schedule of what's rotating around us, well, how does that affect us? And what was rising and blah, blah, blah. That's on a very personal, earth centered level. We are the little ants on the anthill saying, well, what's going on in the sky? But there are several ways of viewing everything. And in this context, I was quite taken by the fact that the new moon and the full moon had so much similarity, and they are so powder keg. you know, they each reflect the larger view that they're inside of. And the fact is that right now we're going through some stuff,
Mhm,
a
mhm.
whole bunch of it. And no matter where the moon is rotating around and around and around, that earth that it's going around is doing stuff. And so we have to understand that there's a bigger way of looking at it and a smaller way of looking at it. And then there's your personal chart. Now, again, and I know I've said this before, by all means, have your chart done. It's free. You can look it up online. You can go to AstroDance. A whole lot of other people will show you what your chart looks like. It's very quick and easy. Um, And I'm so tempted to say, if you want to write your birth information in the comment section, then I'll pull it up and take a look at it.
Oh, Mickey, you are
Okay.
so kind.
We're not hundreds of folks, so I can actually
Yeah.
say, for those of you who don't have a version of your chart, I'm not sending you a big 15-page report or anything like that. I just want everybody to have a copy
Hmm.
of their chart and the aspects, because you can take that to any astrologer and say, hey, what's this mean?
Hmm.
You hadn't asked them to do the chart and blah, blah, blah. But you can look it up even in a textbook and see, well, oh gosh, when Mars is in Cancer, it means such and such.
Hmm.
It's very easy once you actually have the chart. However, if you decide to do that and put it in the comments, you must have the date, that's the day, the month, the year. You must have where you were born. You can't do it without that.
City, state, country.
And you have to say where you are, city, state, as well as the date. And you also drastically need the time. Even if it's, well, mom said it was in the morning around so and so, fine. But put something. It takes 1,220 charts to cover a day when you just know what day it is and you don't know what time.
Mhm.
I'm not about to do 1,200 charts
Of course.
just so you can get a printout of one chart. You've got to know at least, well, it was sometime between 12 and 2, or it was blah, 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 which gives you a small idea. But believe me, the time is the absolute key to the whole thing. So if you want to really have an accurate chart, give me the date, the place, and the time.
Now, a good example of that is yours.
Yeah.
If yours was off by even 1 minute, you
Right.
would be an entirely different sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a whole other story. But yeah, that's
Well,
true. That's
but
how
I mean, that
important
doesn't
it can be.
happen often, but it could. I just saw Audrey pop on. She said, "Hi guys. Sorry she's late." Well, Audrey, I hope you heard what Mickey just said. If you don't have your chart and you want to give her your uh, date of birth, hour of birth, and place of birth, she will run a chart for you. Yeah.
Okay. And this is not going to be, uh, how do they used to say, oh, this is a one-time offer. This is not going to be running for months and months. And I'm not going to be doing this at Christmas for those who,
Right.
well, I've heard that you could do. No,
Hmm.
this is now. If you want to do that, this is just between now and the next time we meet.
Yeah. Great.
So if you get in there and put that information, I will definitely run it for
That is so kind.
you. Well, you folks are important.
You guys really are.
This is important to have. And see, I say that because when you get the chart, it is your chart for the rest of your life. That
Hmm.
never changes. Now, where everything is in the sky right now, if you're 50 years old, believe me, those positions in your chart have moved on for 50 years.
Hmm.
But where they are now is big difference from where they were when you were born. And each of those kinds of things has meaning. But when you get your chart, it's yours forever.
Right. Right.
So
Like
it's worth
me,
having.
I never lived in the town where I was born.
Right, right.
Close.
That's very interesting because I was born in one place and we moved. I think I was about 9 months old. So
Yeah. Well, I was born, I mean, the hospital happened to be in a different town. So I was born in Kingston, Pennsylvania, and when I came home, it was to Forty Fort, Pennsylvania.
right.
And then
Another thing
and
too.
I lived in Forty Fort until I was 19, 20 years old, and then I came to New York.
Well, you see, that's another thing. There is a chart for locations. There's a chart for Elmira. There's a chart for Bradford. There's a chart for New York City. You know, so you can actually look up a place, see the chart for that place, and run it against yours to see, is this a better place for you to be? Are you going to have a different life when you're here than the one for where you are, and so forth? Astrology is vast. There's so many things you can find out by using it. So you start by having your natal chart.
Nice. You know, I saw on mundane astrologers, they are playing around with trying to predict when the new pope is going to be put in place. So
Right.
they're
I
using
saw that.
the chart. Oh, the
Yeah,
chart
well, they're
of
using a 5 or 6 day span,
yeah. So
within when.
the 13th of May is the date I think they came up with.
Well,
But
they're coming by the fact that on the 8th, the conclave will meet and start
Mhm.
debating it, and they
Right.
figure, it'll take so many days, and they're
Right.
gonna
But it's so
decide.
fascinating how they come to it. And I love reading the stuff. I don't understand a lot of it, but because of talking with you, I understand at least what they're talking about. Like I don't know that I could pick it out of a chart, but I get what they're saying.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's
but
an interesting page,
it's a good
and
one.
I'm
If you're
very involved.
interested in astrology, it's a good one to watch.
Yeah, yes. It's a
Mhm.
very interesting page.
Yeah.
And the thing is that once the algorithm picks up the fact that you're even slightly interested in astrology, they will inundate you with other astrology sites that you
Mhm.
can look into and follow and hear and watch and so forth. And YouTube, my God, there are literally thousands of astrologers on
Yeah. And I'm sure
it.
there's one in everybody's hometown too.
And the thing about YouTube is anything you want to know how to do, there's somebody on YouTube telling you how to do it. So once
That's
you
true.
get your job, you do want to look into what is it saying to you. Believe me, astrology is all over YouTube. You can find all kinds of how-tos and this
Hmm.
is what it means and blah blah. When I started out in 73, astrology was a big mystery. I mean, only the people who bothered to get in there and study it, and they talk to each other only, and it wasn't out in the public much. But now,
Hmm.
everybody's pet parrot can tell you what the latest is on it.
Right, right. Back in the day when you started, everybody just knew what was in the paper. Oh, this is Leo's forecast for the day
Which
or the
was a
week.
terrible lie. I mean, going in from the paper was frighteningly bad.
Mhm.
It
Yeah,
gave it a real bad name
but,
because
but that's how
it
most
was
people know it.
always never right. But you can't possibly be telling me what's in my chart if you don't have any idea what day I was even born on.
Right, right. They're
Yeah,
just going by a 29, 28 day period.
yeah. And the thing is that they never, ever, ever say that I'm a Scorpio because it's so arbitrary. Well, it's X number of days and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't go by that. It goes by the time of day that it switched from one sign to the next.
Hmm.
So if you're born at 8:30 in the morning and you look on that last day and you look in the newspaper, it's going to have you the next sign. There's just no way for them to have any idea. They don't know where you were born. They don't know what day in between. And believe me, the person's chart for the first 2 days of the sign and the person's chart for the last 2 days of the sign are vastly different.
Mm.
You can't just say all Scorpios read this, all Geminis read. No, please.
Hmm.
Do not waste your time. It's not possible to be your chart. Excuse me.
I know. It's allergy season time. I'm going through it. I'm sitting here and there's a window open and I can just feel the allergens start.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting spring and summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yesterday we had summer weather here.
I
Um,
heard.
Today it's spring, summer, but we're gonna get cooler again. But
Wow.
yeah.
Interesting because one of the spots on a chart are what they call the nodes. And that's just a place where you put some other calculations together. It's not a planet or anything. but it's a relationship between some other thing. And one of them is to show your destiny and what your soul is trying to accomplish and so forth. And so there are things like that that you can turn to, you know.
Now, when
Um,
people get their chart, is that what looks like a horseshoe upside down and
yeah,
right
that's
side up?
it. One is an upright horseshoe, and the other one is a horseshoe flip down to turn the other. So those things matter,
Hmm.
and I just have to smile, when I read that stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, this is a time when people are going to be trying very hard to find others who agree with what they think is true. You're looking for reassurance that you have formulated your beliefs with some wisdom, at least, and that's no matter whether you learned it all because of the family you were in and everybody in that family had to believe a certain way, or whether you broke away at some point and said, well, I like that, but then I also think blah, blah, blah. So
Hmm.
this is a period when shared values are going to become very, very, very important. And you just want to be very careful with how you present what your side is, because you want to be careful about how much you may injure the aspirations of someone else when they realize that you're not believing the same thing and so forth. You got to be careful how you put it out there, what you do think. Thoughts matter. But this is part of what we'll all see when you send in those specifications.
Yeah. Yeah. And you guys, yeah, it'd be nice to even see little pictures of your charts,
It's an interesting picture.
But I'm even those that have one, it'd be nice to know who has one. Yeah, I never had one until I met you, Mickey. Never, because I still don't really know my time of birth.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
we
I
did
I
too.
had I had a guess, and then, you know, we whittled it down to what seemed more appropriate based on other things that happened in my life. But yeah, I could see where it could be really difficult if you have no idea at all.
Well, it's also true that just like when they say that, look, knowing your chart can tell you what to expect next year, the next year, what you're going to grow up with and so forth. If you know the time and place and so forth, then you can look up what to expect. The other thing is, if you don't know the time, an astrologer can take a look at a span of time and look at all the charts within, say, an hour. If you say, well, it was sometime between 9 and 11 in the morning,
Mhm.
okay, that's just 60 charts, basically. Um, you can actually look at what's happened in your life and trace it back to what the planets had to be that you were born with.
Mhm.
You can't have certain things happen if your sun was in such and such instead of such and such. That's easily traceable. And the reason I say that is the scientists out there will understand what I'm saying. You can't have an equal sign that has two different things on either side of it. The whole idea of the equal sign is that this equals that. Well, if your chart equals what you experienced in your love life, then you can look at what was in your love life and go back to say, well, this must have been true when you were born. This and this had to be here. That helps you
Mhm.
hone in on what time it must have been. You see? So get the information, and there's a lot to be gleaned from
Audrey's interested. So you guys connect. Yeah,
it. Okay,
great.
we'll talk.
All right. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, our Martin, so I right before we started, I'm like, "Oh, we're going to be starting soon." He got that message, but he's still unable to connect to our lives.
Wow.
So I suspect that we will maybe see him tonight at the 7 o'clock. Now, for him, I think it's probably 7:05-ish at night. I think he's in Central Time, Central or Mountain
Okay.
Time.
Mhm.
So it'll be a little bit different for him, but we are going to replay this at 7 o'clock Eastern Time tonight on our Discord server, Spiritual Self-Awareness.
Good.
So yeah, so and I'll be we'll be replaying it, but I'll still be there live during it. So we can stop the recording if we want to talk about something and yeah. So it worked very well last time. I was very pleased with it. There was a girl on that she goes, "Well, if I can do this, anybody can do it."
That's how I felt.
Yeah, but
I
yeah,
eventually got straight on there. Yeah,
well,
with your help.
7 o'clock for us, for you is what?
Midnight.
Midnight? Midnight. Yeah. So we don't expect you to stay up till midnight, but if you're up, we'll be around.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll see how it goes.
absolutely. So take away from this new moon, as usual, set your intentions, positivity as much as possible. You know, other things are going to come into your life and just try to, like Mickey says, just keep going forward. Don't look back. Don't look to either side. Just keep moving forward. And like in meditation, you notice what's going on and just, let it go. You know it's happening, but this is your path.
Mhm.
Yeah, it sounds so easy to say it, but boy, oh boy, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, depending on what challenges you have in your life and what you have to depend on. You may be totally dependent on others, or others may be completely dependent on you. And that is going to make things more difficult either way you look at it. I'm pretty fortunate I live alone. So I don't have to do that much. However, I have to rely on people when I need things done, plumbers, electricians, things like that, and do family stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, every circumstance is slightly different,
Yeah.
and that's why it's important to give us good an idea of what your particular slice of life is as you can. All information is welcome. Help me figure out what the heck I'm doing.
And we're all about joining with others that have the same belief system as we have. And that's a big part of what we're doing here speaking with Kate, and it's also a big part of spiritual self-awareness, building community of people. So we want to be there, and have a community so that we can help each other through things.
Hmm. It's important.
Yeah.
It's important to know how many other viewpoints are out there as well, though. You don't have to ascribe to them, but it's interesting. Well, it's not only interesting, but it's important to know what else is being said.
Absolutely, but to do that from an observing stand
Exactly.
as opposed to a jumping right in the middle. Yeah. Which I used to do all the time. So that's one of my big lessons right now is
Mhm.
stand on the side. You can watch what's happening, but it doesn't really have to affect you. You didn't put yourself in the middle. You can if you want, but I'd just as soon be in the calmness,
I agree.
eye of the storm.
I agree.
All right. So all I need you to do right now is just relax. Just take a deep breath in and out. And you know that you're in a safe space. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes and just listen to the sound of my voice as I guide you to your heart space. So, again, we're going to use the 3 to 1 count, and you can count silently to yourself, but I definitely want you to visualize the numbers. Ready? Deep breath in. 3, 3, 1, 1, 1. And now, just with that 3 to 1 count, we are in a much deeper frame of mind. Now I'm going to have you imagine that you are seated and in front of you is a black velvet curtain. And next to you is a box, and in that box there are white numbers from 1 until 10. And these numbers will stick on that velvet curtain. So I would like for you to just take a moment, and I would like for you to place the 1 on the curtain and see that it sticks. And then take the 1 off, put it back in the box, and find the 2 and put the 2 on the curtain. And I'd like for you to repeat this until you get to the number 10, and I'll see you then. Good. Now, if you haven't put the 10 on the curtain yet, remove whatever number is there, find the number 10, and place it on the curtain. Beautiful. We are now in a deeper state of consciousness. Now I'm going to count us down the stairs to our meditation room, where our lab is located and our quantum door. So let's just stand at the top of the stairs, hold on to the handrail as we count down from 10 to 1. Ready? 10, 9, going deeper and deeper. 8, 7, deeper and deeper. 6, 5, deeper and deeper. 4, 3, deeper still. 2, almost at the bottom, and 1. And we're standing at the bottom of the staircase in our warm heart center, where we are completely safe, and this is our place to be. And we look around this room, and it's familiar, and it's very inviting, and you've decorated however you like. Some rooms have windows. All of them have some kind of a fireplace or a candle, but there is a flame there. And I want you to make sure that flame is burning brightly. You can feel the warmth. There are chairs, couches, recliner, whatever you see fit. There is a quantum door, and there is a door that goes to your lab. So I think we're going to go to the lab right now, and we're going to go to our healing table. Now, as we gather in our healing rooms, our healing space, lay on that table. You can cover yourself with a blanket. You can use pillows. Just make yourself as comfortable as possible. Know that you have water nearby, whatever else you need, because this is your lab. You have created this. You have everything you need, refrigerators, you have textbooks, you have water, you have essential oils, you have your singing bowls, your crystals. They are all at your fingertips' reach. But right now, I just want you to relax on the table. A pillow may be supporting the back of your neck. Maybe a pillow underneath your knees that will support your lower back. And I just want you to take a big deep breath in so that your belly rises, and let it all out. And do that again. And I would like for you to ask your angels, spirits, guides, beings of light, higher self, whoever you need to ask, to come and assist you with your healing. Your higher self does a wonderful job of taking care of your body. You can ask your higher self to scan your body and look for any imperfections it may find, anything that's happening that they can correct, and your higher self will absolutely do this. You can even ask your higher self to tell you what is happening as it's happening. So I'm going to give us a few minutes to have our higher selves work on us, work on healing us, work on giving us energy. And our intention is that it's for our highest and greatest good. Let's begin. Now take another deep breath in and out. Now is the time to thank whoever you invited in, your higher self, your angels, spirits, guides, beings of light, whoever was there with you. Thank them that you've received the healing, you've received the energy. And notice all of the things that you felt. Did your higher self tell you what was happening bit by bit? Or did you just lay, relax, and absorb all of the healing? Any way it happened is perfect for you right now. Now, just in a moment, I'm going to ask you to sit up on this table, dangle your feet over the edge, have a little drink of that water that's nearby. That will always help to ground you, and it helps to cleanse you. And when you feel up to it, we're going to go out and we're going to stand in front of our quantum door. All right, so as you're getting ready, just think about what you would like to have removed from your memories, from your whatever it is. It could be a situation that you would like to put behind you. It may be energies that just aren't even yours that you would like to get rid of. Just think about what it might be that you would like to clear from inside you. And when we cross over the threshold, there's going to be a bonfire. And each one of you will have a little pad of paper and a pencil, and you'll be able to write on that paper all of the things that you would like to clear, that you're holding on to right now, that aren't serving you well. So anything that isn't serving you well. And then we're just going to have a little burn ceremony. All right? So if you're all standing in front of your quantum door now, I am going to count to 3, and on that count of 3, the door is going to open. And you can bring your higher selves with you, your angels, whoever has been with you through this process, through that door with you. And I'll meet you at the bonfire. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Door opens. And you can fly out, jump out, step out, however you want to get there. But you can see the bonfire in the meadow. You can just walk slowly, contemplating what you want to clear and exactly what's going to be best for you. And you can converse with your higher self or your angels and make a plan. All right, so as we're walking towards the meadow with the bonfire, and notice as you're doing this, there's a creek with water rushing by. You can hear it. You can smell the smell of fresh, wet earth and flowers nearby. Oh, you can hear birds chirping. This is such a happy place in your quantum world. It's exactly as you want it to be. Now we're getting closer and closer to our bonfire. And you can see that there are places to sit. Some of the places have little writing tables, but there's a pad of paper and a pencil for everyone. So join me there. And now I'm going to give us some time to think about and to write out the things that we want to clear from our lives, the things that don't serve us anymore, that we've been holding on to, and we just don't need to hold on to those old beliefs or those thoughts or a relationship. We can let it all go. So I'm going to give us some time so that you can write all these out. And it can just be a short phrase for each one, maybe just one, or it may be more than one, whatever is right for you. And then when you are finished with them, just put your pencil down and maybe fold your paper in half. If you have more than one paper, just fold each one of them. And I'll be back in just a moment. All right. Now, I will go first. And I am holding my papers in my hand with the intentions of letting this go to the universe. And I take those papers. Maybe I crumple them up just a little bit, not tight. And I toss them into the fire with intention that this is for my highest and greatest good, that I don't need to hold on to this any longer. And you watch the little fireflies as the paper burns. And they just go up into the atmosphere, to the heavens. And now it's your turn. 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 And as we watch each person take their turn, and we see these flickers of light towards the heavens and the smoke, and as we look at each other, we see a lightning. A burden has been removed, and it feels so good. Thank your higher selves, your angels, spirits, guides, the beings of light, all that have assisted us at this time. And now, let's mosey on back, find our way to the quantum door, taking your time, taking in all the sights and the sounds of the meadow, the creek, the little animals. And at this time in our lives, there is nothing to worry about. Everything is perfect in our lives. Just know that as we walk forward, we are moving forward. Don't look back. And as we get closer to that quantum door, we step back into our meditation room. And as we all gather into our own room, the door behind us closes ever so gently, knowing full well that we can open it with intention anytime we want. And I sincerely hope that you utilize this quantum door often, even daily. Now that we're in our meditation room, we can contemplate exactly what happened, how light we feel, and we don't have to look back. We have had healing done. Just think of yourself as you came into this world as a new child. No worries, no thoughts. You're going to experience and learn everything new again. That means you have no beliefs, no attachments. And you can start creating your own beliefs. When something feels right to you, you will know that's a belief that you want to adhere to. And if it's a belief that doesn't feel right to you, you do not have to ever think about it or take it on as your own. Now that feels right. And that belief over there, not so much. So I'll just let you keep that one. I don't need it. And you can go on and do this until you have all the beliefs that you want. Now it's time to start waking up, coming back to this present time and place during this broadcast. So let's take another deep breath in together and out. Another deep breath in and out. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes and maybe start to stretch a little bit. I'm going to now count to 5. And on the count of 5, you are going to have your eyes wide open. You're going to feel like you've had a wonderful nap. And just know that every day, in every way, you are getting better and better. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Eyes wide open, wide awake, feeling wonderful all over. All right. Well, welcome back. I hope everyone enjoyed that. Little meditation, a little bit of healing, a little bit of clearing. You can do that ritual in person at the new moon on Sunday, or at any time that you feel like, at any time you need to. Oh, Audrey, I am so glad that you were here for this. Welcome back, Mickey.
Hi, sweetie.
Thought maybe we lost you there for a minute.
No, just slow sitting up.
All right, it's all right. Oh, you know, when I talked to Spirit this morning, Spirit was like, "Oh, you'll know what to do." I have to love that. That so many of these anymore are totally unplanned, and they seem to be exactly what we all need.
Exactly. What's called for.
Yeah.
That
So,
is way with Locke here.
It just wanted to get loose.
Yeah, truly.
Free me, free
That was
me.
nice. That was very nice. It seemed short, but it was nice.
Um, 20 minutes, somewhere in that.
Oh,
Yeah,
excuse me. Just
somewhere.
yawning.
That's good. No, no, we should be wide awake now. But
I'm waking up. Yes.
the relaxation, though, is really like how often in our day do we really practice relaxation for ourselves?
Hmm.
So this is all.
I do, but not every day. So I was admonishing myself. I need to do more of this. Yeah.
And I am not good at it. I mean, in the mornings I'm better at it, but then I start doing stuff, and then one thing leads to another thing, and before I know it, I'm out digging in the dirt,
I do better at night.
which is good too. You know,
Hmm.
yeah.
That works for me.
No, mornings are definitely my meditation time.
I
Um,
am not a morning person.
well, I wouldn't say I'm a morning person, but upon wakening, I think
Hmm.
that is my time. Well, it could be in the middle of the afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
I've gotten back into a day schedule instead of a late night thing, and it's quite eye opening, but it's
mhm.
working. It's okay.
Nice, nice. Well, I'm glad that you were with us, Audrey. I saw several other people in and out. We have had 24 people actually in and out, but I'm glad that Audrey comments and lets us know who it is that's there. We appreciate
Yeah, that's good.
it. We do. We do. Any final parting words, Miss Mickey?
Ah, just to be kind to yourself.
Ah, yes. Self-love. Absolutely.
Yeah, to just be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
And if there's something manifesting in your very this minute that you don't want to be part of, just respectfully cease to be part of it.
Absolutely.
Mm. I can't address that right now. I don't know what my thoughts are, but I'll get back to you.
Now, I am just looking so the next full moon will be May 12th at 12:56 p.m. Eastern Time.
Eastern time,
Yeah.
not for me. Yeah,
Right, right.
yeah.
And boy, the Sunday the day before is going to be tough for me too. My
Mm.
gosh, and
Because
Saturday.
we're quite early this time.
Maybe my gosh, I don't even know. I'll have to look at my schedule and connect with Mickey because I am busy 2 days before, the day of, and the next day.
Good heavens.
Yeah, we may have to record the next one. Um, we may
Okay.
have to. I
All
it's
right, we'll
just
see what's called for.
yeah, yeah, but keep in mind that the 12th, is that right? Yes, Monday the 12th is the actual full moon. Um, I know time is going by so fast. My daughter is a science teacher. She teaches astronomy, and she wants to take the kids out at night during the new moon to show them the constellations.
Hmm.
And she couldn't do it this time, and there's only one more time before the kids are done in school.
Oh, yes, right.
Yeah. So
That
it's a
makes a
very
difference.
short window for her.
Hmm.
So I've been kind of calculating everything in advance, trying to help her find the time too.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah, enjoy this time and do your little rituals. That was a burning ritual. You could do water rituals too.
Yeah,
There.
for some people,
Mhm.
it will make a difference to do it with water as opposed to fire, or you can do it with each one of the different elements. I mean, I'm a water sign, very, 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 very much so. A lot of planets in water. But because I have no earth in my chart, then doing things that tend to earth you or ground you I like to say earth you because it
Mhm.
really is, you're grounded because you're standing on the earth.
Yep.
But those kinds of things seem to be a great deal more effective for me.
Hmm. And here I am, a Leo, definite fire sign.
Fire sign.
And I go to fire a lot.
Hmm.
But, in my burning ceremony, I also connected with the earth when I, took care of the ashes.
Hmm.
And I had water close by.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, whatever way, you know, each of you find that works for you and gives you the best feeling,
Yes.
try each of those things. Honor each different kind of element and see what feels better. Even if you just, when you get up in the morning and you walk in the kitchen to make coffee, stand there for a minute and take a sip of cold water. And just as you drink the cold water, say, well, I want this to serve me or show me how to serve myself better.
Yeah.
Water, I ask you to throw in your bit of what you want to say. And you can stand outside, you on your way somewhere, stop for a second, stand there on the ground, not the pavement, but on the ground, and say, I want you to serve me. But it's up to you. There's no right way to do it. There's no wrong way to do it.
Right. Right. It's just the only thing wrong is to not do it.
Exactly. I mean, when you say to your higher self, okay, do what you need to do to show me how to help my situation or whatever, then you take all these little things and the moment it occurs in your head, that's your signal to go check it out.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Listen.
That's an important thing that it's appeared in your mind.
Hmm. Yes. Listen. Audrey just
Sure.
asked if
Yes.
she should send you her date of birth, time, and place, and she thinks
Yes.
it's so exciting. So,
Oh, good. I look forward to seeing yours.
you guys can direct message each other.
I find that
Nice.
exciting.
I'm kind of interested to hear it too. We've all been so close for so long. I love it.
Hmm.
I love it.
That's nice.
All right. Well, I don't know if you can hear the whistles, but we got a fire going on somewhere.
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah,
You
yeah.
can hear it. Yeah, it's gotten very, very windy out there while we've been talking.
Oh, yes, I hear it.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. Well, I'm going to sign off. I love you all. Enjoy your moon time.
yes. Have a good couple of weeks.
Bye bye. We'll see you
We're
soon.
there for you. Bye bye.